Good evening, and I welcome you students for another important session on is matter around us pure. We have discussed different methods of the separation. Today we'll be discussing more about physical and chemical changes. Also, we have discussed some questions will be solved, and then we will also discuss elements, compound mixtures. Before I begin my session, we have some physical fitness exercises, some yogic techniques, something to relax our mind, body, and soul. Sit comfortably on the chair, students. Are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Up, down 10 times. Inhale, exhale. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The shoulders we have to relax and make sure that there is no stiffness in the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back rotation of the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now from back to the front, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Neck, right hand, press the, give a gentle stretch to your neck. Hold it to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Center, left hand, give a gentle stretch. This part, we want to stretch our muscles of the neck so that they are released. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up, down, 3 times clockwise rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, back. 1, 2, 3. Neck is free. No stiffness. No stiffness is there in the neck. Now we are going to do our something about eyes. Your eyes are under pressure. It is getting a lot of light from your laptop all the time. Strained. So how we release and give comfort to our eyes? One easy procedure is rub your hands, more. You will experience a lot of heating, heat energy. Close your eyes and gently place this energy to the eyes. Give this energy to the eyes. Hold. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently come back, relax. Now we will close and open our eyes 10 times. Blink it. Open, close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If some tears come from eyes, it is good. Is my pen. I will hold this pen and look both towards this side from both the eyes. From both the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I hold the pen to this side and look to this side by both the eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I hold the pen, look by the eyes towards this pen, and then I will look down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. We will take 3 deep breaths. Inhale from the nostril and exhale from the mouth. Sit comfortably. Feet should be touching the ground. Close your eyes. Inhale. Second round. Deep inhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale from the mouth. Now rub your 2 hands and gently massage your face. And slowly come back and open your eyes with smiles, attitude of gratitude. We thank you, God, for the life we have. Prayers to the God, prayers to the universe. We thank you, God. We thank you, universe, for all the beautiful things we have, and we are working hard to attain our goals. Okay, open your eyes. Back, back, back. All right, tell me, are you feeling relaxed?
Yes, sir.
Eyes are relaxed. Eyes, not a
Yes,
pressure.
sir.
Eyes, students. So we have to remove the pressure from the eyes. Now we are beginning our session. We are beginning our sessions. Okay. How do we start, students? We already know we have energy, mind is relaxed. And let us see. Last time, students, I have discussed with you two types of changes, physical change and chemical change. You melt ice. You have a paper, you tear in two pieces. What is this? You have a wood, you cut it into two pieces. Is there any new substances formed? The answer is no. There is a change in matter, change in color, change in order, change in solubility. Dissolve sodium chloride in water. No new compounds have been formed. If no new compounds have been formed, what we are saying? These are examples of the physical changes. If you are dissolving sugar in water. Now, when chemical reaction takes place and new substances will be formed, student, what will happen? What will happen when new substances will be formed? And then it will be example of the chemical change. Chemical change, we have discussed about that last time, students. We discussed about this last time, the difference between. So some of the examples of physical changes: crushing of a can, melting of ice cube, boiling of water, dissolving sugar and water, and not NaCl, because NaCl will react with water and form sodium hydroxide. Hey, it will be a new compound. So sugar put in water. All these are examples where no new substances are formed. They are physical changes. A chemical change is when one chemical substance is transformed into another. A chemical reaction takes place. These are some of the examples we discussed: burning of wood, souring of milk, mixing acid base. Acid base, when you mix, what happens? Neutralization reaction take place, salt and water is formed. The food which you are eating is getting digested. These are metabolic reactions, chemical reaction taking place inside your body. All these rusting of iron are examples of chemical change. Chemical changes result in different substances. They can often be undone, cannot be undone. Some chemical changes can be reversed, but only under certain special conditions. We'll explain to you later. Here are some of the questions on this. Questions are coming, so pay attention, students. Pay attention, stay focused. What is that first question? Classify the following as chemical or physical changes. First question: cutting of trees. Tell me, is it physical change or chemical change?
Physical change.
It is a physical change. Why?
Because no new substance is formed.
No new substance formed here. No new substance formed. Such changes are called physical changes. Melting of butter in a pan, what will happen?
Physical change.
Melt the butter, then freeze the butter, put it in the freezer, it will again become solid. So this is a physical change. Okay. Physical change, students. Rusting of almara. What is that, student? Rusting of almara.
Chemical change.
It is a chemical change. Why? What is happening? What is happening? Rust. What is a rust? Rust and a chemical reaction is taking place. Iron reacts with air, oxygen, water in the presence of acid and form oxide of iron. New compound is formed. Boiling of water to form steam. What is this? Boiling of water to form steam, students?
Physical change.
Physical change. Passing of electric current through water, and water breaks down into hydrogen and oxygen.
Chemical.
Chemical change. Dissolving common salt in water. What is happening? Common salt. You know what is common salt? Can it react with water?
NaCl can react with water, student, then what will happen if it reacts with water? So we have to be sure if chemical reaction takes place, then what will happen, students? Then what will happen if it doesn't react with water? If it doesn't react with water, what will happen? Common salt is NaCl. It has Na plus Cl minus. If it reacts with water and form NaOH plus HCl, what is happening? It is forming NaOH plus HCl, but then these are strong acids. It will go back, so it will also remain as such. There will be sodium ion surrounded by solvated aqueous, chloride ion aqueous, students. So this is also physical change. Okay, physical change. Making a fruit salad with raw fruits. What is this fruit salad? Physical change. Burning of paper and wood.
Chemical change.
All combustion reactions, these are combustion reactions. Here new substances will be formed. In combustion reaction, students, new substances will be formed. Therefore, they will be examples of chemical change. Chemical change. All right. So we can identify physical and chemical change, whether new substances are formed or not. Now, what is the story which is before us? We are saying whatever matter we have, it can exist in 3 states. What are the 3 states of matter, students?
Solids, liquids, and gases.
Okay. And they can be pure substances or there can be mixtures. We talked about that. You have solid, liquid, or gas. You can have pure substances, you can have mixtures. What are the pure substances? Can be 2 types: elements and compounds. For example, you are saying here is a piece of copper. Here is a piece of copper. Cu. Okay, this is a copper piece. What it has? It is made up of only copper atoms. It is made up of only copper atoms. When I say oxygen, O2, what is there? Only oxygen, only one type of atom. Iron has only iron. Hydrogen, mercury, these are all elements. They cannot be broken down to simpler substances. Cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
On the other side, we talked of compounds, students. Compounds, how water is a compound, CO2 is a compound, CH4, all these NaCl, they are compounds. They have fixed composition by mass. They cannot be broken down into elements by chemical or electrochemical reactions. They cannot be broken by simple physical methods, but can be broken down by chemical or electrochemical reactions. Compounds, for example, you are saying water is a compound. Carbon dioxide is a compound. All the substances mostly are compounds in which you have more than one type of atom. And there is some type of bonding which takes place between the atoms, which will be discussed in the coming chapters. Mixtures, we have discussed 2 types of mixtures. Mixtures have no fixed composition. Homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous mixtures have uniform composition. Heterogeneous mixtures have non-uniform composition. Sugar in water, salt in water, sulfur in water, carbon disulfide, these are all examples of homogeneous mixtures. They will form a composition is uniform throughout. But if I take sand, put in salt, sugar and salt, all this, water and oil, they are examples of heterogeneous, which do not have uniform composition throughout. So we already have reached up to this stage. Let us see what we are going to talk. What are the types of pure substances, students? We started the chapter that there are some pure substances, but most of the substances around us are mixtures. They are not pure. Then we said कि pure substances are either elements or compounds. They have only one type of particle present in them. And on the basis of their chemical composition, substances can be classified either as elements or compounds. So when we say it is an element, they can be on what basis we will say? On the basis of their chemical composition. On the basis of chemical composition. On the basis of chemical composition, students, we can say substances are elements or compound. Robert Boyle was the first scientist to use the term element in 1661. In 1743-94, French chemist was the first to establish experimentally useful definition of the element. Element as a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reaction. Very important. What is the definition of the element? It is a basic form of matter. Everything is matter. You know about it. Basic form of matter. I'm saying it is a basic form of matter that which cannot be broken down. Cannot be broken down, students. Very important. Cannot be broken down into simpler substances. Into simpler substances by chemical reactions. By chemical reactions. Write any chemical reaction, the element will not be breaking. Any reaction, you write. If I say hydrogen reacts with oxygen, this is my gas causing. What I'm saying, student. Hydrogen, oxygen gas, student, it is forming H2O gas. What is happening? The hydrogen element is still there, oxygen is still there. They are not breaking, student, in the chemical reactions. In nuclear reactions, we can break the atoms in nuclear reactions, not in chemical reactions. So what is happening? The simplest form of matter, which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by means of chemical reaction. So I can say that element always consists of only one kind of atom, only one kind of atom. If I say that this is a gold bar, it is a bar of gold bar. It contains only gold atoms. It contains only gold atoms. There's no other atom present in it. Put a copper wire, you are saying it has only one particle, copper, only copper atom. And it cannot be broken down, gold cannot be broken down into simpler type of matter by either physical or chemical means, and can exist as either atoms or molecules. It is existing in the form of atoms here, but if you have nitrogen, what happens to nitrogen? Nitrogen exists as N2 gas. Oxygen exists as O2. Cl exists as Cl2 gas. So here it contains only nitrogen, it contains only oxygen, it contains only Cl2. But these elements are existing in the form of molecules. Molecules. They are existing only in the form of molecules because they have more than one same atom, more than one. If I say phosphorus existing as P4, sulfur exists as acid, there are 8 sulfur atoms which are joined together, but it only has sulfur. So these are elements. These are elements. Diamond, we say, is the purest form of carbon. It has only one element, that is carbon. What is a molecule then? It consists of 2 or more atoms of the same element or different elements that are chemically bound together. Molecule. For example, nitrogen is a molecule of nitrogen atoms. Oxygen is a molecule of oxygen atoms. So there are same atoms, but if I say H2O molecule is a molecule, what it contains? It contains hydrogen and oxygen atoms. It contains two different atoms. It contains two different atoms, hydrogen and oxygen. If I say carbon dioxide is a molecule, carbon dioxide is a molecule, students. It contains carbon and oxygen atoms. This is how we define elements and molecules. Note down everything, students. Note down everything. So you cannot break an element into simpler type of matter by physical or chemical means. By physical or chemical means. Elements can normally be divided into metals, non-metals, and metalloids. Now we are talking of elements can be metals, non-metals, and metalloids, students. Metals, non-metals, and metalloids. You know what are metals, students? Can you tell me? Can you name some metals? How will we identify?
Iron,
Acha. There are certain properties on the basis of which we say that these elements are metals. You have very large number of metals on the earth. You know about that. The periodic table is full of elements which are metals. You are saying iron is there, copper is there, gold is there, silver is there, platinum. Is sodium a metal? So many metals we are talking about, students. Sodium, lithium, potassium, cesium. In the periodic table on the left hand side, you will see two groups, group 1A, group 2. They are called alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. Then there are transition elements which are filled up in the middle of the periodic table. If you will see D block elements. Therefore, what are the properties of the metal, students? If I say they are metal, what are the properties? Okay, let us see. Metals usually show some or all of the following properties. Properties of the metals. First, metals have a luster. Metals have a luster or a shine. Second, they have silvery gray or golden yellow color. They have a metallic luster, student. You know, you have seen gold, copper, they have a metallic luster. They are shining. Important point, they conduct heat and electricity. You know, your electrical wires are made up of which element? All the wiring of your home. Which metal has been used, students?
copper,
Copper. You see the color of copper? How good, beautiful it is. Golden yellow. They are ductile, means you can draw wires. Most ductile element is gold, student. You can draw very long wires out of the gold. And they form a lot of uses of this because they can be drawn into wires. They are malleable, means they can be hammered into thin sheets. You have seen aluminum sheets being used in large construction. Even in metro, you see in metro what type of things you see in the metro stations. You see what the thin sheets of what you are using, thin sheets that can be hammered into thin sheets. You are using that. Fourth and fifth, they are sonorous, make ringing sound when hit. In your school, there is a bell. The bell rings and it is made up of a metal, so they have sonorous sound. Examples are gold, silver, copper, iron, sodium, potassium. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Interesting. All the metals are solids, but mercury is liquid at room temperature. Such question can be asked, student. Name the metal which is liquid at room temperature. Which one is this? Mercury. You know mercury, where you are using mercury? Where are you using mercury, students? When I say mercury, mercury is a liquid.
Yes.
Liquid. Where it is used in thermometers.
Yes.
What happens when the temperature rises? Mercury expands, and you can see the rise of the mercury. And when temperature falls, it comes back. Therefore, mercury thermometers are very common and they can be used. Mercury thermometers. Note down everything, students. Now we are talking of non-metals. Non-metal usually show some or all the following properties. They display a variety of colors. First, they show display variety of colors. Second, they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals. Can you give me name of few non-metals? Carbon is metal or non-metal?
Non-metal.
Non-metal. Carbon. Hydrogen, oxygen. On the right side of the periodic table, you see these elements. They are non-metals. Metals and non-metals you can compare. They can ask you give 2 or 3 differences between metals and non-metals. They are poor conductors of heat. There is no free electron which is present in the non-metals. Therefore, they are poor conductors. But you know one exception. Can you tell me the name of a non-metal which acts as a good conductor and is used a lot in chemistry? Are you aware of that? Name a non-metal.
Diamond.
No. Diamond is not a conductor. Diamond is not a conductor. Is an insulator. Graphite. You have seen graphite rods are used in the dry cell also. You see graphite. Graphite is a non-metal, but still it conducts. It is a conductor and is used a lot as electrodes. Graphite electrodes are very commonly used in dry cells. Third, they are non-lustrous, not lustrous, porous, or malleable. You cannot draw wires and beat sheets out of the non-metals. Important examples of non-metal: hydrogen, oxygen, iodine, carbon. Carbon is most important. Coke, coal, all these, carbon, most important non-metal, which we are using. Note down the properties of non-metals also, students. Non-metals, metals, non-metals. And we must know in periodic table where these non-metals are present. What are metalloids, students? There are elements which are having a combination of some property of metals along with some properties of non-metals. They are called metalloids. Elements. Metalloids are elements which have properties in between metals and non-metals. Some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. They are metalloids. Properties are intermediate between metals and non-metals. They are called semi-metals. Examples of this. Give me examples of metalloids or semi-metals.
Boron.
Boron is there. Silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, polonium. These are some of the examples of the metalloids which we have listed: boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, As, germanium symbol Ge, boron B, silicon Si, Ge, germanium, arsenic. These are some of the examples of the metalloids. They are also called semi-metals. They are also called semi-metals. Note down everything, students. Note down. They can ask you, give the names of 3 non-metals or metalloids. Okay. The number of elements known at present are more than 100. You know, in the modern periodic table, how many elements have been listed? Can you tell me how many elements you can see in the modern periodic table?
118.
118. There are 118 elements in the modern periodic table. 92 elements are naturally occurring. 92 are naturally occurring. How many? 92. And rest are man-made. After 93 to 118, what do you see? Man-made. Interesting. What are man-made? They are called transuranium elements. They are synthetic elements. They are synthesized by man in nuclear reactions. In nuclear reaction, they are not stable. They are not stable. They do not exist as such. Okay? Majority of elements are solid, liquid, or gas. Tell me. Majority of elements.
Solid.
Majority of elements are solid. You see large solids, maximum solids. And there are in gas, minimum number of elements are in gas. How many? There are 11 elements. You will see 11 elements. You can see the periodic table, students. 11 elements. Okay, are in gaseous state at room temperature. At room temperature. What we are talking? At gaseous state at room temperature. And 2 elements are liquid at room temperature. Which are the 2 elements which are liquid at room temperature?
Mercury and bromine.
2 elements. They are liquids at room temperature. One is mercury. And second is liquid bromine. You know, bromine is liquid. Liquid bromine. So 2 elements are liquid at room temperature, mercury and bromine. Elements gallium and cesium become liquid at a temperature slightly above room temperature. This is an important point to note. See, such questions are asked. The 2 elements which can become liquid above 303 Kelvin. Gallium and cesium. So if the temperature will go above 303 Kelvin means how much? Minus 273. How much? 0. 30 degrees Celsius. So if temperature will go up above 30 degrees Celsius, what will happen? Gallium and cesium will become liquids. Right now, what is the temperature? In summer, the temperature is higher. This time the temperature is higher than 30 degrees centigrade. What will happen? These two will become liquids. If you put in your hand, they will become liquids. Which one? Gallium and cesium. Note down every point. Such questions could be asked to you in the paper. Now the next question, we said that in pure substances we have discussed two things, elements and compounds. What is a compound? You said water is a compound, carbon dioxide is water, ammonia is a compound, HCl is a compound, NaCl is a compound, sugar, all these are compounds around us. So there are two or more than two elements which are chemically combined. When I say it is H2O, it is not a hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas. It is a chemically they are combined. They have chemically combined, students. Are the properties of water same as these? Tell me. These properties are same as the elements from which it is prepared or different? What do you think? The properties of water are similar to properties of hydrogen and oxygen gas or are different?
They are different.
Different. It's a liquid, it is a gas, but they are combined, chemically combined in a fixed proportion. You can take water from anywhere. You can take water from a river. You can take water from your tap home. You can take water from a lake, or you can take water from a sea. Does it has anything different? The proportion of hydrogen and oxygen is fixed. You are saying 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen, 2 units of hydrogen, 2 grams of hydrogen, and what you have 16 grams of oxygen by weight. Their proportion is fixed and they are chemically combined. This is the definition of a compound substance composed of 2 or more elements. There can be 2 or more than 2 elements. For example, H2SO4. See, there are more than 2 elements chemically combined with one another in fixed proportion. So the proportion is always fixed when compounds are formed. So they consist of atoms or 2 or more different elements bound together, can be broken down into simpler type of matter by chemical means, not by physical means. When chemical reactions take place, what happens? These compounds can be broken. By means of chemical reaction. I take zinc, I add HCl. What happens? You are getting ZnCl2 plus hydrogen gas, students. So what is happening here? This is aqueous. I'm writing aqueous means in water. In water, students. It is dissolved in water. That's what we are saying. So what has happened? This compound has got broken by means of chemical reaction. This is a chemical reaction, and what you are getting different substances that are different from the component elements and always contain. So these compounds can be broken down into simpler type of matter by chemical means, not by physical means. Physical means you have studied evaporation, crystallization, distillation, all these means you studied in the chapter. Compounds has properties that are different from the components from its elements and always contain same ratio of the components of atom. This is an important point. Note down the definition of compound should be clear to the students. So chemically combined and in a fixed proportion. These components are present in a fixed proportion. Note down, students, everything. Note down. Some activity is going to be done, student. What is the activity? Divide the class in 2 groups. Give 5 gram of iron filings and 3 gram of sulfur powder in a china dish to both the group. I have group 1 and I have group 2 students. ठीक है? What I am going to give in a china dish? 5 gram of iron filings and 3 gram of sulfur powder. Sulfur powder. Here also 5 gram of iron filings and 3 gram of sulfur. We are giving to both the groups. Group 1, mix and crush iron filing with sulfur. What you do? You have seen the china dish, students. It is made up of a special dish, special porcelain deep. It will not break if I will heat it. Crush them, mix and crush iron filing and sulfur. Yeah, here you mix them, iron filing and sulfur powder, mix them. ठीक है? Mix and crush iron filing, heat this mixture. Now what you are doing here? What you will do here, students? You will take iron filing and sulfur, and you will heat them. Heat, how you heat it, you know about that. There is a wire gauge. Students, stand. So this is a wire gauge. You are heating it. Heat. ठीक है? And remove the flame and let the mixture cool. Now the mixture is cooling. What are the what activities? What we are going to check activities? First, check for magnetism in material obtained. Tell me, you will bring a magnet here. What will happen? What will happen, students? Number 1. If I bring a magnet in this first group 1A student, what will happen? What will happen? If you bring a magnet here, what is your answer? What will the
Iron
magnet?
fillings will not attract.
Iron filling
Will not attract.
will not attract in group 1. Why it will not attract? You have iron and sulfur, you mix the two. If I bring a magnet, what is this still there inside this? You have iron and you have sulfur, you have two things. And it is a mixture of iron and sulfur, students. Magnet will attract iron filings. Iron filing. Check if the material is attracted. Yes, it is attracted. Yes. Number 1. Compare the texture, color of the materials obtained by the group. What is the color and texture? Here. Can you tell me what will be the color and texture here? Will it be same or different?
It will be same.
It will show the color of both iron and sulfur. It will show color of both iron and sulfur. It will show the color of both iron and sulfur. Add carbon disulfide. What will happen? And stir well. Third, you are adding carbon disulfide. CS2 is carbon disulfide and stir. What will happen? Carbon disulfide. It is a solvent, student. Sulfur will dissolve in it. What will happen? Sulfur dissolves. Fourth, add dilute sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. What will happen if I add acid? add acid, H2SO4 HCl. What is going to happen? Okay, let us see. Perform all the above steps both for elements iron and sulfur separately. Okay, now here what happens if I bring the magnet in this case? Group 2. Iron and sulfur, they are heated. What will happen? Iron plus sulfur heated,
It will not attract.
it will form a compound iron sulfide. Compound will be formed and it will not attract. It will not attract. It is not attracted by the magnetic field. Not attracted by the magnetic. Not attracted by magnetic, by magnet. There is a color change. Yes, there is a color change. Iron sulfide has different colors than this. And now it will not dissolve in sulfur. Not reacting with this, but this first one will react with acids. First reacts with acids, but it is not reacting with acids. So you have to perform this activity. What it shows, student? Can you tell me what is the inference from this? What inference can you draw from here?
That mixtures are different from compounds.
This is not a compound. No compound formation takes place. It is only a mixture. This is only mixture. No compound has been formed, but here a compound has been formed. What has happened? Compound formation takes place. Compound has been formed in this case, students. And why then new compound has been formed? Therefore, this is different from this. And this is only a mixture. So it shows the properties of the elements which were mixed. It does not show the properties of the element. The properties of mixed compound are different from the properties of the components of the elements. What else? He says perform all the above steps with both the elements iron and sulfur separately. You take iron separately, students, and sulfur separately. And perform the same activity and test. Did the material obtained by two groups looks the same? What is your answer?
No, sir.
First, no. Which group has obtained a material with magnetic properties?
First group.
Group 1. Okay. Can we separate components of material obtained? Can we separate components of the material obtained?
In first group we can, but in second group.
Group 1, no. Group 1, yes. And group 2, no. Because a compound has been formed. Here, a compound formation has taken place. What has happened? Compound formation takes place. On adding dilute sulfuric acid or dilute hydrogen, did both groups obtain a gas? Did the gas in both cases smell the same or different? What will happen, students? What will happen?
It will smell different.
So what we are trying to do, student, that is a compound, its reaction is different and the elements are reacting in a different way. So what will be the result of that? That we will not see the same result in both the cases and we will get different gases if they are formed. In first case, you have iron reacts with HCl. What happens? FeCl2 plus hydrogen gas is there. And the second case, you have compound FeS. FeS. This is a compound, so it will react differently as compared to this. Hydrogen gas is not coming here. So we can perform activities and try to answer the different questions, students. They could be asked in your paper for the different type of reactions which we are seeing, and how to answer the question is very, very important in all these cases. And what you have elements, compound and mixtures. What we have discussed up to now? Elements, we have discussed compounds, we have discussed mixtures, and how their properties are different from each other, how their properties are different, and how can we perform experiments or activities to do all this. Activities and experiments are very important, which we do in the case of the lab. If I have FeS react with HCl, students, then different reaction will take place. It will form FeCl2 and it will form H2S gas. So FeS plus HCl, H2S gas. Here H2 gas. The two gases are different. This has a very pungent smell. H2S gas, very, very strong, this pungent disorder is there. And here you are getting hydrogen gas. You can see different gases being evolved. HCl or H2SO4, same thing will happen. Both obtain a gas. Yes, gas is coming. Did the gas in both cases smell the same or different? No, they smell different. Smell different. Important point, students. Important. So activities are very important, which we are doing in chemistry lab to establish what type of chemical reactions are taking place. Note down. The material obtained by group 1 is a mixture of two substances. Substances given are elements, iron and sulfur. The property of the mixtures are same as its constituent. Important point. The material obtained by group 2 is a compound. Number 2 point. On heating, two elements strongly get a compound has totally different properties. Compound has totally different properties compared to combining element. The composition of compound is same throughout. We can also observe that texture and color of the compound are the same throughout. Important points to note down about the experiment or activities we have done. Now I will ask you a question. This is important question, student. Question: give differences between mixtures and compounds. Mixture, elements or compound just mix together to form a mixture, and no new compound is formed. Important point. No new compound formed. Elements react to form new compounds. This is the most important point. A mixture has variable composition. You can mix them in any amount. Composition of each new substance is always fixed. When I write H2O, CO2, the composition of the elements is fixed in that by mass. It cannot change. A mixture shows the properties of constituent substances. If I iron will and sulfur, it will show the properties of iron and sulfur separately also, and in the mixture also. New substance has totally different properties. Iron sulfide properties are different from either of the iron or sulfur properties. Constituents can be separated fairly by physical methods. Constituents can be separated only by chemical or electrochemical method. These are the 4 important points, student. Very important question. What are the differences between mixtures and compounds? Note down, students. This question has been asked many times in the exam. You have studied what are elements, what are compounds, what are mixtures, and we have done activities, experiment to show the differences, and metals, non-metals and metalloids. This is a very important part of the chemistry, which will become very useful in higher classes. Most of the substances are metals and solids, as you can see. Only two metals we have shown becoming liquids at room temperature. We have given the name of that. Mercury is one example, which is a liquid at room temperature. Then we have shown two more, gallium and cesium. They will become liquids at 30 degrees Celsius. So among the non-metals are non-conductors, but graphite conducts. Graphite conducts. That's again a question for the paper. All right, students, then this ends up the second part of us. We will meet you in our next class and discuss more about this chapter, and then we will discuss question answers, and there will be quiz also, which will be based on this chapter. Bye bye, then I will see you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.